So I found what I think is the perfect place to watch the sunset at the end of a long day. You know, building all these squirrel hotels, all this 3D printing, it wears on you. My one problem right now is that I just kind of stand around awkwardly because I don't have anywhere to sit. But today is a day that I stop looking like a fool. I'm gonna build me some chairs. Not only that, but I'm gonna build it out of pretty much anything I can find. Sure, you got your wood chairs, you got your plastic chairs, etc., but you know, how do I know I have the best chair possible if I don't try to build it out of some crazy stuff? Now you might know I don't have the most experience building. You know, I've had some run-ins in the past. But if there's one thing about us tray hands, we don't quit. Whether it's crossing America with a penny, starting a candy company, getting 20 million subscribers on YouTube, or being that guy's brother, we're gonna get it done. Let's start the show. Actually, sorry, I need to go get some supplies. I thought that would take longer. Home Depot trip number one. I don't want to show you what I got because it'd kind of spoil everything, but you know you're going a little crazy when the cashier says, "Holy shnikes, that's a lot." So tons of people have built chairs. But has anyone ever built a chair that looks like the Citigroup building in New York City that Veritasium just did a video on? I don't think so. There might be a good reason for that, but you know, I'm the kind of guy that goes in with no plan, no skills, no experience. And you might be sitting there thinking, hey, Matthew, why are you doing this? You need to stop and think. And you know what I say to that? Are you crazy? You know I'm gonna send it. So if you don't know about the Citigroup building, they basically had to build around a church. So that's why they built it the way they did. And then there was a whole big thing. Basically, the building was going to collapse any day now. I'm thinking a chair will do just fine with that design. So I should probably just get out my circular saw, because this is taking so long. Anyway, let me stop yapping and get to work. I did eventually get out my circular saw, or I might still be sawing that same piece of wood. I really did send it here because I basically just cut out pieces that I thought made sense for a chair. I measured the legs out to 20 inches each with a longer one that will also act as the back of the chair later. After that, I cut out 17-inch pieces to act as the seat, and started connecting pieces together, which seemed to go great. I mean, I feel like it's starting to take shape. Then I cut out some small spacer pieces so I'd have a slotted look to the chair, but that wasn't a great idea because the wood I bought kept splitting since the pieces were so small. It's also just not a great design because here I had to take all the pieces apart one by one since I didn't use long enough screws and everything basically fell apart. So instead of the small spacers, I basically just cut out more 17-inch pieces to make a full-on seat. I mean, I'm not going to pretend like it's the best thing ever, but it's starting to look like a chair a little bit. I shouldn't just test it out now, huh, and say that I'm done so I can move on to the next one, right? No? Unless... No? Oh, no, I just... And then after that, I cut out more pieces for the other side and also decided I needed some braces between the legs so things didn't get wild. Also, I'm still dropping screws all the time. After the legs were secure, the final touches were the back of the chair, and I just did something simple so I could finally call this a chair. Probably just put this on the ground, it'd be a bit easier, but why would I do that? Looks just like that building I was talking about. Well, let's see how it sits. That's nice. Well, not really. Kind of hurts the old back. Can't really lean back, but as someone that wasn't sure if they could build a chair, I think this kind of counts. While I am pretty proud of this chair, I don't think I'm proud enough to go take it to the sunset. I think I might get some awkward glances, and I don't do awkward glances. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and try and build another one right after these messages.
You ever wanted some candy and thought, dang, what kind of candy should I get? Get your hands on some Joyride. No fake junk, no junk ingredients, or fake colors. Did we stop time?
Welcome back to the show. Now what if I told you you could build a chair out of just a saw, hot glue, and our mystery material over there. Might not believe me, would you? Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself because I don't really have any plan like usual, but went down to the old Walmart and picked up some of these $1 pool noodles. Where'd I put those things anyway? Can never find them. Here they are. So I'm thinking I can hot glue some of these together into a sort of a chair shape, and then I can sit on it at sunset. Doesn't that sound nice? I don't really know if these are gonna glue together, so I'm just gonna give it a try and we're gonna see if it works. They glued together pretty well for the most part, but I did need a little help. Never thought I'd use a clamp on a pool noodle, but here we are. The saw was also working pretty well, so at this point I was looking like a genius. So I'm about 8 pool noodles deep. I have 17 left. Not sure if I can do this with only 25, but kind of going into the shape I want. So I'm happy about that. My problem is I need to start curving it in so it's like more of a chair. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that, but I need to start thinking about it. I didn't really think about it too much because I just started working on the seat part with some shorter pieces of pool noodle. The real pain came when I started trying to make an arm for the chair because the glue wasn't strong enough to hold the pool noodle in place, even after slicing a big chunk out of the back. The other side went a bit better because I thought to stack them on top of each other, but it still wasn't great. You know, it resembles a chair, but I don't think it's gonna do. I was doing all right until I tried to put these arms on, but I think we can say this is a chair. If you're ever asking yourself, why am I still watching this guy? This is why. You know, I don't think pool noodles are gonna make it in anyone's workshop anytime soon. But hey, if you ever have 25 pool noodles, like 25 hot glue sticks, a glue gun, a saw, you can build yourself one of these. Oh, shoot. Before I could make another chair, I had to head down to the beach for some other obligations. Since there was so much seaweed, I thought I could make a chair out of that, but it didn't really want to keep shape, so I guess we gotta cross that one off the list. I also saw some of these blue things called a Portuguese man-o-war, so luckily I stopped digging around in the seaweed. After filling a bit down, I had a bright idea. I'm gonna build a chair out of sand. The rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. I just formed the back and the arms of the chair, but after trying to sit in it, I realized I had nowhere for my feet to go. So I fixed that with my 100% certified manly shovel, and honestly it was probably the best chair up to this point because it even had a cup holder for my drink. Not long after that I started to pack up, and when I went to grab my chair I finally realized that I couldn't actually take it home with me. I feel like I had to build a chair out of metal. I mean, that's definitely a material. My problem is I can't really weld. I also don't have a welder. But what I can do is go inside the Goodwill on the way home from the beach and pick up these crutches. Not gonna lie, it was kind of hard. People were looking at me. But what are crutches made of? Metal. What is this flimsy circle made of? Metal. I'm gonna build a chair out of them. Now the important thing to remember when you're cutting crutches is to make sure no one can see you, because this is weird. So I happen to get 2 sets of crutches that are different lengths, but they do line up at these holes. So I'm gonna cut them all off at the same hole and hopefully they'll all line up. First person to clamp down some crutches? I don't know, but maybe. So I got to cutting with my jigsaw and a metal blade. I'm not sure if this is what they had in mind when they put a metal blade on there, but it sort of worked. Well, I'm glad that part's over, because I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty sketchy. So I'm not really sure, but I figured the next part that makes sense is connecting to the seat to these. So to connect the seat, I started trying to drill in these self-tapping screws I picked up, which I thought meant it would drill its own hole, but that wasn't really the case for this application. I ended up using a drill bit to make a pilot hole so those screws could go where they needed. It didn't take too long before all the legs were on and it could stand up on its own, but it wasn't quite done yet. It's definitely gonna need some braces across the legs, so I'm gonna do that now. Before the leg braces, I gave the seat a bit of support with a different piece of the crutches because I didn't think the flimsy tray or whatever it was would hold up. Then after that, my leg braces were the crutch pieces I cut off earlier, and I even used the screws and wing nuts from a different part of the crutches on one side, along with more of my screws. And with that, the crutch chair was born. How is this the best chair I've built so far? It's kind of sad, but I have no idea how that drill bit was still going, but that thing deserves a nice retirement. Not sure where I put it though. Hope I can find it. I guess it's kind of a stool more than a chair, but hang on. Is a stool a type of chair? You don't have to see what that said. It's a chair. You know, it's not too comfortable. I don't think it's gonna fall apart on me. So that's a plus. Just doesn't feel like a sunset chair though. If I'm being honest, it's kind of dangerous. It's got screws poking out everywhere. But I think we can all agree that's a pretty remarkable feat of engineering. I guess the search for a perfect chair continues. As I was cleaning up, I did find the MVP of this portion of the video and gave it a nice retirement home. I'll keep it forever. So for this next one, I think I can build it with a box cutter, some glue, and these. I guess also our special material that I haven't told you about yet. First I'll tell you about the design. So I wanted to build it like this oval chair that you can see here on your screen, but I already used wood in the last one, so I can't really do that. So I'm gonna use the next best thing. I guess technically this material is made from the same place as wood, but it's not wood. Now let me just try to find it. I misplace it all the time. Oh, here we go. Some cardboard. So I got to work gluing the pieces together. I knew I needed a big stack so it had some strength to it. Eventually I realized that tape is quicker and seemed to be just as effective, so I kind of abandoned the glue. It's feeling pretty sturdy. That piece there was the back, so I moved on to the arms by cutting some pieces in half to cut down on material. After those were together, I cut slots into the back and the arms so I could see how it was looking so far, and I feel like it was decent. I'll just get the seat in there and then I think we'll be in business. I also trimmed off the front of the arms because they were sticking out pretty far, and I decided to test out how strong the rest of my cardboard was before building the seat. Oh, that's not good. Luckily those pieces I cut off from the arms were coming in handy to give some support to the seat. I cut some little slots into them so they'd stay in place, and after cutting out some pieces for the seat, it was ready. Alright, it's my first time trying out the chair. Hope it doesn't collapse. I mean, it's a little wobbly, but I can sit on it. I don't really know if I could transport it to and from the Sunset area too easily, so I don't know if this one's gonna work out, but it's also probably not the world's first cardboard chair. Go to commercial.
Ever have some footage or photos and think, oh, I need to put this somewhere? Get the SSD, Extreme, portable, 4 terabytes.
I thought we were gonna talk about my channel. And we're back. So the next chair.
What about your cardboard chair?
Cardboard chair? What are you talking about? You can't build a chair out of cardboard. What's that guy talking about? The next material on the list is called polyvinyl chloride. Some people like to call it PVC, but not me. So this time I'm actually following a plan from the 1970s or 80s or one of those decades back then. So hopefully this one goes a bit better than some of the others. But I think I misplaced my PVC pipe. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Guess I'm gonna start measuring and cutting. Nothing can ever be easy. These instructions I'm following are super blurry. I can't really read the exact measurements that they're saying, but you know I'm gonna send it. So once again, I sent it and I started measuring and cutting. I could read the whole number on the plan, so for the fractional part, I just went big so I could cut it down later if I needed to. These PVC cutters I bought made this easy work and even created this crazy audio that could definitely be turned into a song. Last piece. Now it's just time to play some plumber's Lego. You know, I bet no one's ever said plumber's Lego before either, so you know, we're making some history today. With all the pieces cut out, it was just a matter of putting everything in the right place. Yeah, so this is pretty much it. So in their plans, I added like a mesh cloth here. That's why there's no seat. So I think now I'm gonna add me a seat. For the seat, I was just cutting out sections of the bar and putting in T-connectors so I could add a section going across. Really hope this one works out, because this is my last idea before sunset. It's getting real close. Let's see. I can fix that. All right, trying again. It's not the comfiest thing I've ever sat in, but pretty stable. I think you might need a cushion or something for this. You know, it's only a couple hours till sunset, and I just don't think this one's gonna work. Oh, yeah. I could probably glue these joints, and it wouldn't do that, but I think I'm gonna leave it how it is. I think that's all I got in me. And I built 6 chairs. I don't think any of them's really gonna work. The sun's going down. I got somewhere to be. The sun doesn't really wait for you to build a perfect chair, does it? And maybe sometimes the perfect chair was right there all along. Have those been there this whole time? I guess at the end of the day, we're all just trying to find our own little slice of perfect in this world. And I think I did right here.